Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shauna for those of you who are new here, and today I am sharing our life cycles unit study for our homeschool with you guys. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get to it. All right, you guys, so life cycles, let's talk about it. As I was planning out our homeschool year during the summer, one of the things that I really wanted to incorporate for science was a life cycle unit study. And I wanted to do this because I wanted the kids to start learning about plants and how something can go from a seed to a seedling to a full-on plant. And that is because one of my later on goals is to start a garden with them. I really want them to know how to grow things. I want them to know how to grow fruits and vegetables and flowers and whatever their heart desires. And so I thought that this would be a really great way to start that later on skill that we're going to work on. So as I was looking for life cycle unit studies though, I wasn't really finding what I wanted online. So I've been making my own, and hopefully this can be fruitful for you guys. Hopefully you can, even if you don't use, my whole plan, maybe you can just pick and choose from some of the books or the ideas that I've come up with. What we were going to do was we were going to use this book as like our main source of curriculum, and then this book, the Smithsonian DK, Our World in Picture, Trees, Leaves, Flowers, and Seeds, as like a additional resource. But as I was looking through the two books, what I realized was we're actually going to use this as a supplemental book and this one is our main source of curriculum. You guys, if you do not own a DK book for your homeschool, you are really missing out. This is such an amazing resource. They have so many different books on so many different topics. They have dinosaurs, sharks, life cycles, oceans, space. They have so many amazing books, and they are all so brilliantly created. They're colorful, they're informative. Look at that. That is just such a beautiful book. So if there's one thing that you grab from this video today, it's to go on Amazon and check out the DK Publishing books. Now, into the homeschool unit study. I'm going to be looking at my list because I have not memorized this whole thing. But basically what I did was I created a 6-week plan. So our first week plan, we are going to be learning a little bit about how our tower garden works. If you saw one of my previous videos, you saw that we got one. And basically the way it works is it runs on an aeroponic system. So there's little like pots that the plants sit in, and the roots are suspended in air. There's no soil in this gardening system. So I want them to learn, how plants grow in soil, but also how they grow through a system like the tower garden, and how the pump works, because there's a large water reservoir on the bottom, and the pump brings it up to the very top, and then it basically trickles down over the roots of the plants to give it the nutrients and the water. So I want them to learn how it works, and not to just think like, oh, this plant is just magically growing. We are also going to be talking about how plants need sun, they need water, they need nutrients. I'm going to give them some magazines to cut out some fruits and some vegetables, just to add in a little bit of like a fun activity. We are going to take pictures of the kids with the plants so they can mark the progression of how they grow, how they started off really little, and then hopefully we do really well with this and we don't kill any of them and they just like bloom really big. We're going to be doing some dictionary assignments. I want Noah to start learning how to utilize a dictionary. I bought a DK dictionary because, you guys, DK is amazing. So I'm going to give him some terms on just growing foods like germination, pollination, what do these things mean? What is aeroponics? Things like that. Then we are also going to read a sunflower's life cycle. We are going to be going over what's inside a flower. And for fun, we're gonna do the Big Book of Blooms. This is such a cute book, you guys. Look at it. I feel like this should be another DK book because look at these illustrations. They're just beautiful. And these will actually be in our morning basket for that week's assignment. Then we will go on YouTube and watch the life cycle of a plant. You guys, I will try to link everything down below in the description, the videos that we're going to be using and the books that we're using as well. And then as far as activities and like worksheet stuff, we are going to print off a picture of a seed, and I'm going to have them label the different parts of a seed. We're going to do a seed dissection with lima beans so they can actually like cut it open and visually inspect it. And then we're going to discuss what is germination and just kind of have them state their understanding of what that is. And we are going to start this sprout and grow window. Now, I thought that this would be really great to add in. I know that we have the tower garden and that they're able to see like the seed grow into a plant, but I thought that this one would be really cool because they can literally like watch the seed and how it doesn't just sprout upward, but that it starts to, you know, get roots and kind of just stabilize itself into the ground, into other plants. And then we are going to be using this book, page 12. We're going to go over what is a plant, and then I'm going to be doing page 20 and 21, how do seeds grow? So that way we kind of start at the very beginning of the plant. And jumping into week 2, we are going to be using this book again, and we're going to be covering pages 22 through 27, which is the different shapes of seeds, scattering seeds, and seed shapes. So for some of the activities, I am going to be taking out some of the seeds from our packet. We're going to be using some coffee beans, some regular bean seeds, some lentils, and we're going to be discussing, you know, the different shapes and if they can see, you know, if they can kind of figure out, you know, what seed belongs to what, you know, plant family. And then we're just going to be talking about the different ones. And then I'm going to have Noah still do some dictionary work. We are going to read, we're going to keep reading What's Inside a Flower, because this book, you guys, it looks like cute and like it'd be like a cute little short story, but it actually has a lot of information with a story. So there are some, you know, it goes over like the different flowers and stuff. So I think that this is going to be a book that we make our way through slowly, because I really want them to kind of just dive deep and think about, you know, all that they're learning, so then they can tie it all together at the end. And then I will be adding in a book called From Seed to Plant and the Big Book of Blooms sticker book edition. My kids love stickers, you guys, and I think that this will be a really fun one for them. And then we will be watching How Does a Seed Become a Plant on YouTube. I like to add in as many free resources as I can. And for our activity and questions, we will be discussing the size of seeds. I will have Addie make, I will have her size them from like smallest seed to largest, and then try to make a pattern with them as well. She's 5, so I figured that would be a great activity for her. And then I'm going to have them explain the process of how a seed turns into a plant. For week 3, I will be using DK Smithsonian, pages 28 and 29, to go over the life cycle of a plant, and then pages 14 through 15 to discuss the roots, like what do the roots do, what's their function, why are they important, and then we will draw the life cycle of a plant. And if you happen to have a tower garden, or you're interested in getting one, they actually give you curriculum for different age groups. So I printed off the curriculum from their website, and we will be doing some of their roots study. Then I will also have Noah continue working on his dictionary terms. We will watch how to draw a life cycle, because that's going to be, you know, one of our activities. And then we will continue reading What's Inside a Flower if we haven't finished it. We will be adding in Sunflower House And this is just gonna be like one of our table books because there's no way, you guys, like this thing is so thick that there's no way we're gonna get through it in a week. So it's The Wonders of Nature. And this one is also just like breathtaking, you guys. Like, look at those illustrations. And it gives you so much information on the plants. And then, you know, if your child likes a certain plant in here, then you can always get additional books or find free online resources to just kind of learn a little bit more. But some of these are just like, I'm in awe. Like, this is just beautiful. So I thought that this would be a great book for the kids to just start getting introduced to different types of plants and not necessarily life cycles. So we're gonna have it in our morning basket for that week, and then after I'll probably put it on the table so then they can just look through it when they're eating lunch or, you know, just bored because I'm not letting them have TV. And then we are going to watch Plant Parts. And for their questions, we are going to discuss what are the functions of a root. They're going to name the different types of roots. And in the Tower Garden curriculum, they do have some questions on roots, so we're going to be answering those. All right, week 4, we are coming back to this book. We are going to be using pages 30 through 37 to review different types of leaves. And then page 16 and 17, we are going to be going over stems. And then we are also going to use Tower Garden's STEM packet to learn a little bit more about the functions of stems and, you know, how they tie into basically the plant overall and why they're important. And then we are going to be going on a nature walk to look for different types of leaves. I thought that it would be fun to have the kids do one of those like leaf tracing photos. I don't know if that's like the right name, but basically like they get a leaf, they put it on a piece of paper, and then they color the paper, and then it shows the leaf. Probably described that horribly. And then I'm gonna have Noah continue with his dictionary work, giving him terms so he can look through the dictionary and try to find it. I am going to keep Wonders of Nature in their morning basket for that week, and that'll be the last week. So then we'll move it to the table afterward. And then we are going to be adding in an apple tree's life cycle because I thought that this would be just fun. I don't want everything to be like content heavy. I want some of it to just be like fun too. And then we will be watching How to Draw an Apple. And I might even work in something fun like blindfold them and have them try to draw it then and see if, you know, they drew it really well or if it looks all wonky. If it's loud, it's because the Tower Garden is watering itself. So sorry, guys. And then the questions, I am going to ask them, why is a plant stem important? What is its function? What are uncommon types of stems? Because a lot of the times we think that stems are just, you know, like the stem of a flower, but really it can be, you know, the tree trunk or, you know, like a celery stick. So I want them to learn the different types of stems that aren't necessarily like the first ones that you think about. And then we are also going to do a celery food dye experiment. Tower Garden has a really cute little experiment where you go and buy a stalk of celery and you cut it and then you place it in a jar with water and you put in some food dye and then you have them develop like a hypothesis of what do you think is going to happen. Do you think it's just going to stay green? Do you think it's going to change colors? Do you think it's going to be vibrant or dull? Like, what do you think is going to happen? So I thought that that would be a fun way to work in like a STEM activity basically. And week 5. So we are going to be using pages 42 through 43, which goes over the nitrogen cycle and how it helps plants, and then pages 68 through 69 for pollinators, because I want them to really understand what's happening, not just, you know, above ground that you can see, and, you know, how different animals can contribute to the pollination of other plants. But I really want them to also understand what's going on at the root level, what is happening in the soil or, you know, in the air that is helping the plant grow. And then we are going to use Tower Garden's packet on pollination to just kind of tie that off. And then we might buy some flowers and look at basically like the part of the flower where the pollen is held. We are going to continue with dictionary work for Noah. And if you guys are interested in any of the dictionary terms that we're going to be using, just let me know down in the comments and I'll write it out for you guys. But what else are we going to do? Oh, I thought it would be really fun as like a pollination activity to throw flour on one of my kids. And then probably outside so I don't have this huge mess all over the house. But I thought it would be really fun to throw flour on one of them and then have them run around and hug everybody so they can kind of see like how a bee pollinates and kind of get like a visual representation of, oh, like if I have flour on me or pollen and then I go hug my brother, then he gets pollen on him, and then I go hug mom and she gets pollen on her, then they can kind of see how that works with, you know, different animals going to, or different insects, you guys get it, going to different flowers and how that helps, you know, the life cycle. And I got some books on composting. So we are going to be going over that. I will do a separate book haul video and go a little bit more in depth on all of these books. But this book I was actually pleasantly surprised with. This has a lot of information that I was not expecting it to have. You could probably do your very own curriculum just on this book alone. And then, what is gardening without bugs, right? So we are going to be going over the big book of bugs, because if there's anything I have found in life, the things that you are afraid of is usually because you don't know. So, you know, to kind of overcome fear, you educate yourself. And I am scared of bugs. My daughter is scared of bugs. We do not like them. So I figured maybe if we learn about some of them, then it will kind of help our fear a little bit. Because once we start gardening outside, there's going to be bugs, and I'm not excited for that. Then we are going to be watching, I need to find a video on composting for the kids. I have not found one yet, so if there's not one linked down below, that's why. But, and I will update it if I find one and when I find one. But we're going to be watching some videos on composting and what it is, how it works. Then the questions I will have them answer is to name 2 pollinators. What is artificial pollination? Why is pollination important? And what part of the flower forms pollen? Then week 6, we will be finishing up. It's basically just going to be a review week. I don't have anything like too heavy to go over. I just like whatever we didn't maybe get to finish, we're going to cover that week. We are going to continue working on dictionary terms. We will be reading Up in the Garden, Down in the Dirt. And I did not realize how large this book was when I bought it. But in the garden, you guys, like, look, it's like the whole camera frame. This thing is huge, but I figured that would be like a fun gardening book. And we will be finishing up with Grow. This is by the same author as the composting book that I was telling you guys about that has a ton of information. This as well has a ton. That was the game that comes in it. But look, it talks about like sowing seeds. So this is going to be like a really great resource. They have just so much information, you guys. So, I mean, again, like if you just want to grow food with your family and do a unit study on that, you could probably just be good with this book alone. But that is it. I don't have any specific questions. I think what I'm going to do for this week is just kind of gauge their strong areas and their weak areas, and then whatever they are maybe having a hard time understanding or they might not remember, then I'll work it into the last week to just kind of, you know, go over it again and make sure that they have a good understanding of it before we finish up. So that's my plan. Do you happen to have a life cycle unit study that you have enjoyed? If you do, let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends, please. I'm trying to, you know, get this channel to grow. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm horrible with the funny punny jokes. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you again later. Bye.